I walked into this direct with admittedly high expectations. Let's admit it. Like the first 6 months of the year here, I kind of went into Nintendo going, you're building to something. Let's see what's actually going on here. And then we got to this direct, and I watched it today, and wow, ladies and gentlemen, wow. Like I have nothing but wows and smiles at the moment. That is my reaction to that direct. I don't know how they had this many games hidden away. I do, because they had a quiet 6 months, but they had so many games that the end of this year and the start of next year is just looking like I don't know how my wallet is going to survive, or me and my free time. The direct was in the middle of the night, which is just what happens in Australia. And so I'm like, okay, here's what I'm going to do. Get up early in the morning. I'm going to have a coffee. That's a lie. I don't actually drink coffee in the morning. And then I'm going to watch the direct. Boom, direct starts and straight into a new character reveal for Smash Brothers. Now we knew that one character was coming up, and well, Dragon Quest did make sense, and I gotta say, I love it. I love the fact that Dragon Quest has been added. I myself am I'm a big kind of background supporter of Dragon Quest. Now I'm the guy at the back of the crowd. But I'm all there for my friends and some of you who are just so into Dragon Quest. This is great. I love that they added not just one, but 4 of the hero characters from Dragon Quest. It's always been the type of series that I'm like, I know a guy that would love this series. And his name is Eric. It's me. I would love this series. Yet I just never get into them. And I've been waiting for this opportunity for Dragon Quest XI to come to Switch so I could make another excuse as to why I'm not going to be able to pour the 100 plus hours into this game that I really would love to. I might actually do it. I'm going to try. Now, as for the tier list here, we are running from the E rank all the way up to the On Fire rank. And I'm splitting these two into 2 announcements. So we had, obviously, Dragon Quest XI's new trailer, and we also had the lad, the hero. Gonna go with the hero here first and say definitely hitting a S rank for me. That is a big announcement. Jumping a little bit further down for Dragon Quest XI. Don't get me wrong, still excited, but probably hitting the A rank there for me. They could have easily stuffed up bringing Doug Bowser out on stage. They could have made it boring, but they didn't. They had him come out, they had him in front of a Bowser, and they made it exciting, and they made me love Bowser. Having Bowser and Bowser on stage here made me realize one thing, is that Nintendo are very good at not just creating characters in video games, but creating characters in the real world as well. I mean, I don't want to take anything away from Reggie, because he is a character in himself, and he's a lovely character. However, Nintendo did give him the push that he needed to be able to become that character in the first place. And I believe they're doing the same here with Doug Bowser. So I'm kind of excited to see where he takes this and where Nintendo takes this in the future. It feels kind of weird to slot a human into a tier list, but I think for Doug Bowser's announcement, they did a really good job. So I'm going to probably slide it up here into the S rank. You're lucky, Doug, that I like you. I was just excited for them just to bring back Luigi's Mansion. Just bring it back. Just like Mario Maker. Just give me more. I don't care. Just hook it to my veins. Do whatever you're going to do. Give me more of that stuff. But Luigi's Mansion, they just sold me on it even more. They said, listen, here are these new zones that just look beautiful. And they seem to be really playing with the design of the zones now. There's like luscious foresty type areas. There's like this studio. There's like underground areas and lots more. They really seem to be getting playful with this, and I love that. And then they went ahead and introduced Luigi, and I'm like, you stuffed it up. You stuffed it up. That is what my brain was thinking as they were showing Luigi. And then they went into it, and I deserve to slap my brain out the front door. They showed me a reason to like Luigi. He is not just a green glowing player 2 anymore. He now is part of the puzzle solving. I'm glad they played into that and not just said, here's gluey glowy EG for you to play with a second player. Big props. Also, before we do move on, the slamming the ghost down and like that is brilliant. Where you can just slam ghosts down on the ground. Fantastic. Multiplayer mansion, interesting. Don't know yet, interesting. We will talk about that more in the future though, because there is so much to talk about Luigi's Mansion. Even a treehouse. It got treehouse footage. So much stuff got treehouse footage. There's a lot to talk about, folks. Alright, to restrain myself from going any further with Luigi's Mansion, I'm going to bring up the tier list here, and I'm going to say that Luigi's Mansion, easily like a slippery, slidey piece of soap, is just going to slide straight into the On Fire rank. That game to me is just burning hot. Kind of like Doug Bowser. Stop, Eric. Here is where things get a little bit wrinkly, quite literally as well, because the next game announced was The Dark Crystal. Now, I don't claim to know anything about the Dark Crystal or the series or the movie or anything, but it didn't really look like it was up my alley. Didn't quite fold the right way for me in the folds of her face, because more wrinkly jokes. I'm sure it's fine, and I like tactics games, but this one just doesn't please my eyeballs. Now, to slot this into our little tier list here, I've got to say that it wasn't really a hard decision. In fact, I would almost say it was easy. it's E rank. That was the joke. Honestly, this game, it has no right to look this good. It just looks so appealing, every zone of this game, and they keep showing off more. I'm like, I just want to eat this. I just want to eat every part of this game up. I haven't played the original, but I've used some of the music before, and I instantly feel nostalgic for it. Before going into Link's Awakening, my wish for it was they would add something extra to it. Another reason for me to keep playing a little bit more. And they seem to be doing this in this, I'd call it Zelda Maker, but it's not really that. It's a little bit different. I mean, technically, yes, it is that. You're making Zelda dungeons, but they're pre-planned. It's not like Mario Maker where you just place anything wherever you want. They're rooms that are pre-designed. There's so many things that I could try to take away from that. Like, does that mean we're not getting a Zelda Maker? What else does that mean? But I'm trying not to take too much away from it. Apart from that, it looks like a neat little extra feature that, yeah, it's something that maybe we can just play around with for a little bit. Now, I've been fighting with myself a lot over where to slide this into the tier list. You see, I just want to put it in the on fire spot because the game it's captured every little part of me with the look of it and the sound of it. But I got to slide it down just one little notchy here because it's not quite on the level of Luigi's Mansion, personally. But double S is by no means a knock against this game. It's a double thumbs up. 2 S thumbs. I can't bend my thumbs in the way of an S. Trials of Mana and the Secret of Mana Collection. Now, these are the type of games that if people ask me, hey Eric, what did you think of Secret of Mana? Yes, I am so nostalgic for that game. How much did you play it? I got about an hour into it. There's something about Super Nintendo RPGs that it's an RPG on the Super Nintendo. I'm nostalgic for it. That's just the way it works. Plus, being just a big fan of RPGs in the first place, this is very much up the Eric alleyway. And if we take a trip down the alleyway to the tier list here, this is easily going to slot I've put them under the same one on my tier list. A spot up here in the S rank for Secret of Mana Seductiveness. It was around this point in the direct that I kind of I checked the player, made sure there's videos from Nintendo. I'm like, what's going on here? There's something wrong. Hold on, just pinch myself, make sure I'm awake, check the pulse. Yeah, no, I'm still alive. I haven't left the earth yet. I don't know what's going on. And here we are, The Witcher 3's on Switch. Okay, yeah, that's still sinking in. This is fantastic news. There's a lot of people who only own a Switch or maybe just want to play this on their Switch. It's now possible. As far as the tier list goes, The Witcher 3 is going to score an A on the tier list. Now, it would actually be higher, but I think more of my excitement is for other people to play this game since I already have it on other consoles. Ooh. Ooh. What was my reaction to Fire Emblem? Because it is a spicy little sausage if I've ever seen one before. I was not expecting this. I came into this trailer expecting not a lot, to be perfectly honest. You see, I'm very much a backseat Fire Emblem fan. I like the series. I'm just not in love with it. And then they showed this trailer. The combat still is what it is, but the story, they're taking that places I just was not expecting at all. Going into this, I was like, it's gonna be more Hogwartsy stuff. Let's get some more children in here and send them out to war to die. But this, they're kind of going, okay, no, this is like the future. They look really like bad it's going some places that I'm actually enjoying. I don't think I'm quite ready to jump into the front seat of this game and be like, yeah, let's go. But I'm ready to be a backseat driver and be like, okay, let's do this. And it's also at this point that I've got to compliment Nintendo on their driving, on their pacing for this event, because they done well. Like, I was worried going into this. I was worried that we're going to get a huge chunk of Fire Emblem. We're going to get a huge chunk of these different games. There's going to be bugger all Luigi's Mansion. How are they going to slice and dice this into sections that I'm going to be able to follow along with and not get bored and not get, I don't know, too little of content that I want as well. But they did it fantastically. Not to get too carried away here on the pacing though, because I got to slot Fire Emblem into our tier list. So I think Fire Emblem pretty easily going to score itself up here in the A rank as well for me. I'm excited, still not super duper diddly duper pumped, but excited. A-sided for A rank. I was just complimenting the pacing, and then in comes Resident Evil through the front door. They did slow it down a little bit here. I like that Resident Evil 5 and 6 are making their way over to the Switch. 5 is actually the only Resident Evil game that I've finished because I'm a big scaredy baby. But for the fast pace of the Direct, to kind of have this haunted mansion where these two are just creepily playing their Switch at night, it kind of just slowed it down a little bit too much. And I think for me personally, Resident Evil is going to slot into the B rank. B for scaredy babies like myself. Even though this slowed down for just an tinsy, tiny bit there, it was not even enough time for me to sit back down on my chair before the Empire strike back, or Travis, because Travis is back again with No More Heroes. At first I was like, damn, Daemon X Machina is looking good. But no, that was coming up next and it still looked good, but Travis was just one sexy mama, dude. Guy, bro. Admittedly, I've never played a No More Heroes game, but I love the amount of spanky attitude they throw into Travis. He is just the type of guy that every other company just kind of goes, well, yeah, maybe not. Let's shy away a little bit from throwing this much spank into one dude's hand. But they really do run with it, and it makes me so interested in this game that I think I'm gonna have to jump into this one. On any other day, I'd honestly walk away from this going, this is my favorite trailer from the Direct. But not today. Today, there was... I don't even know what to say about this Direct. There was so much. So I'm definitely going to hand it to No More Heroes, and we're going to spank it up here in the list at they're not numbers, they're letters. S rank. That's not good enough. Double S. This deserves double S. This looks really cool. They did manage to squeeze some new Contra details. Mind you, I don't know. I don't really have much to say about the new game. The old games are coming back. That's cool. So I guess if we're going to slot this into the tier list somewhere, it's probably going to go B, C, B, C, B, C, B, C, C. It's going to sit in the C. C for Contra. Perfect. On to Daemon X Machina, which, of course, looks great. It looks great again. It'll never stop looking great. My one question to this is, where is the feedback that we gave you? You didn't mention that at all. That feels a little bit coy. I don't know what's going on with that, but the game still looks like a beautiful, glowy piece of loveliness, and hopefully it still plays like a glueable blow. I don't know. Hopefully it's still good. I guess this new trailer hype can only push it so far up the tier list, so it's definitely going to still sit around about an A for Daemon X Machina. Amen. There's an A in there somewhere. Now there's a couple games that I'm just going to kind of slap into the tier list here somewhere because I don't really have that much to say about them. But the first one is Panzer Dragoon, simply because I haven't played the old one, and I bet there's some Panzer Dragoon fans out there that were like jumping out of their seats, but it wasn't me. So for me, it's going to slip down into, I'm not completely uninterested in this game, just the trailer didn't really do that much for me, so probably going to be a D. And then we had Pokemon Sword and Shield, which as far as my excitement goes, it's sitting up here at like, yeah, I'm definitely up an S with Pokemon Sword and Shield. But as far as this trailer goes and what they actually showed us, they basically said, hey, everyone at E3, we got some new stuff for you. Hey, everyone actually watching at home, there's nothing for you to actually see here. So I was like, oh, cool. Yeah, you get an A for that. That sounded a bit mean. I'm sorry, Pokemon. I'm going to bump you up to an S. Forgive me.
Astral Chain.
And then we got Astral Chain. And the more that I keep seeing in this game, the more I am ready for RoboCop the Alien Wars. It just looks fantastic. Overused word of the day, fantastic. Some of the new enemy designs were really interesting, but I think what I take away from this the most is similar to Fire Emblem. I'm more excited about the story that they're kind of setting up here and where that plot's going than anything else. They're doing a treehouse of this game, and I definitely want to lay my eyeballs on that at some stage because it just seems more and more interesting, and now I want to know more about that gameplay. I honestly don't play a huge amount of Platinum Games games, but this one to me just seems more interesting than ever. So as far as the tier list goes, I'm going to slot this up there in the, well, there's too many S's, S rank. Empire of Sin was up next. Now this doesn't really look like an Eric game at all. Didn't do anything to tickle my fancies, and because none of my fancies were tickled, I'm going to have to just kind of slide it down into the E position, unfortunately. Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, for me personally, it's just not doing anything for me because I'm just not a huge Marvel guy. If I'm going to slide it into my tier list here, I think it looks great, but not for me. So probably a B. Now, Cadence Cadence of Hyrule. This is strange. It's out in a couple of days. It's going to be sitting in our hot little palms, and we're going to be button mashing away trying to get through the rhythm hell that this game is, like, very, very soon. I enjoyed Crypt of the Necrodancer, and I just like Zelda games in general, and Zelda and anything to do with Zelda. So, as far as my list goes, it's easily going to score itself a spot up here in the A rank. One game that they were going to show, and I was just going to walk away going, yeah, I didn't expect much from that in the first place. It was going to be Mario and Sonic at the Olympics. But the game totally surprised me. It came out of nowhere with this trailer that's just full of weird, wacky, Olympic, probably not Olympic, actual sports. But there's only so much they could get out of the actual Olympics in the first place that I guess this is kind of a natural progression for the series. One big question I do have laying right over the top of all this is, what's with the retro mode? They showed it and then just didn't talk about it. So I'm wondering what exactly that is. Is that even a thing, or they just like whacked that together for the trailer? I think I'm going to have to slide this one up here into the A rank. The A for amazingly okay. Let's continue to talk about games that look way better than they have any right to. Animal Crossing, folks. Wow. Like, just wowee. My eyeballs just exploded after watching this, and somehow they're recovered by now. I went into this direct saying, alright, if they're going to show Animal Crossing, give me some reason to buy it. I don't want to just see the same footage of Animal Crossing in HD on the Switch, because that's not going to be enough of a reason for me. And then I saw the same footage of Animal Crossing in HD on the Switch, and I said, that's enough of a reason for me to buy this game. They've obviously added a bunch of features that Animal Crossing fans are going to recognize, and yeah, that all looks really great. But honestly, I'm just looking at this game and going, I just want to be in that world. Take me there now. Let me in. Open the doors. Come on. Let me in. Why can't I be there? Which is bad news, because we have to wait to 2020 for the game to come out. But it's early 2020, so it's not a huge deal. And I honestly think that, breaks, delays, whatever you want to call them in games, are good things if they mean the game is going to be better at the end product. And because the game is going to be a better end product, it better end up at the very top of my list here on fire. At this point in the Direct, Nintendo kind of sped things up a little bit. They just kind of had one of those sizzle reels they like to do, and they just kind of slid through a bunch of games. So I figured we could do the same thing here. We're going to slide through these last few games in a bit more of a rapid succession, starting with Spyro. Now, that's just one of those 3D platformers that I think we've all been going for a long time. Why isn't that on the Switch yet? Just get it over there, and it's finally coming. So we can all just raise our hands and go, yay! And we can also raise our hands and put it in the A rank for myself personally. Hollow Knight Silk Song was next. Now, I haven't actually played the original, and I should, considering that the guys who made the game live in the same state as me, and it's a fantastic game. So, yeah, I have to get around to that. I'm still looking forward to the sequel, so it's definitely getting a A rank again for this one for me. No Kuni. I can't believe I haven't had a chance to talk about this one yet with all of you. This is literally one of my favorite games of all time. And that's saying something. Like, normally there's this nostalgia holding on to those games that you cling to and go, yes, I love this game. This I played in recent years and loved that much. So that said something. It's just a fantastic little fantasy adventure that took me places that I love to go, and I want to go again when it comes to the Switch, which is why it's easily earning a spot in my fire rank. Minecraft Dungeons I've already covered, so if you haven't seen that, go back and watch that. It's fantastic. And I'm really looking forward to this game. Diablo, Minecraft, whack them together. You got something fun there if you ask me. And so I'm whacking this up in my double S rank. Elder Scrolls Blades. There's only one type of Elder Scrolls game that I like, and it's not Blades. So this one's getting down into the E section for me. Everything that happens in My Friend Pedro just looks really cool. It's definitely not an Eric sort of game, but it doesn't stop me from going, this still looks cool. So I'm going to give it an honorary B for banana. If Doom Eternal is anywhere near as good, if not better, than the original game, it's getting an S rank for me. That's as simple as that, S rank. The Sunken City didn't really grab me that much. It doesn't look bad, it just didn't really grab me, so I'm going to throw it in the C rank for now. And it's going to be joined by Wolfenstein. It's just not a game that I'm interested in. It's certainly probably a good game, but it's just not something that's interested in to me. E. Didn't get an E though, it got a C. On the other hand, Dead by Daylight, that definitely gets an E. Not only am I not into horror games like this, but Dead by Daylight just doesn't look like my cupcake feast that I would like to eat. What? While we're chowing down on horror cupcakes, Alien Isolation can go in the E basket for me as well, because that's just a bit of a ew, and I don't really want to get into that game. It looks fantastic for people who like horror, but big scaredy babies, we've been over this. Not me. Okay, good news, we can pull ourselves out of these slumps down here and back up to the top of that list, because now we get to talk about we talked about No Kuni, Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, both just as good as each other. I love Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles. Honestly, I have so much nostalgia for that game. It's just a fantastic little quirky Final Fantasy game, and I wish they had continued on with the series since they made it. And since they're bringing it back, it's easily going to earn a spot in the double S rank. Another game you might know that I'm really into is Dragon Quest Builders. Dragon Quest Builders 2 is just as exciting for me, so again, that's definitely getting a double S rank for me. Since I haven't watched any Stranger Things is a little bit strange to me, so it's quite easily going to get thrown down here into the C rank. Just Dance 2020 is up next. Now, while I do hate when Ubisoft show this off because they give like dancing pandas and weird stuff on stage that make me cringe back into my prehistoric state, when I come out of it, I'm like, it's not actually a bad game. I don't mind Just Dance, and I probably will pick this game up if not for just a little bit of dancing fun. Yeah, I'm one of those people. I'm sorry. So for me, this is going to go up in the A. Let's give it an A. Catan is a game that I don't really know much about. It looks like a board game and it doesn't look too bad. It has 2 A's in the title and I could give it a third, but I'm not going to. I'm actually going to give it a B because that's probably what it deserves. It looks okay, but not great. On the same playing field as Catan, I'm going to have to throw Super Lucky Tale. Looks cool, but I don't really have anything selling me on the game apart from another 3D platformer at the moment. I might have to look a little deeper into it. Dauntless is actually a game that I am super excited for despite knowing very little about. I know that it looks like Monster Hunter, I know that people have said it's like Monster Hunter, and I know that I want to play it because it looks really cool and it's kind of the hot trending thing at some point recently, so I definitely want to check it out. I'm excited that this is coming to Switch, and for me, I think this is going to jump up in the S rank. Super Mario Maker 2, yeah, that's on fire. And that wraps it up for our little scissor reel that happened here. However, there are 2 more announcements to go through. One is the bear and bird are back. That's right, Banjo and Kazooie have been added to Smash. When I saw this, I almost ripped my hair out in excitement. Oh, no way! That's not that exciting. I could probably turn that up a little bit more. The one thing that I kind of walked away from it going, oh man, I just want the old Banjo and Kazooie to come, and Tooie to come back to Switch, and I also want there to be a continuation that isn't terrible. It's such a shame that Banjo, Kazooie and Rare have just gone into hibernation, and they're not releasing more Banjo and Kazooie games. Honestly, like, it's such a missed opportunity. I know I don't stand alone on this pedestal when I say that they just hold such nostalgia with me that I wish they would just come back and be good. I guess we should put them on the tier list here somewhere. You know what? I love the 2. I love the fact that they're coming back to Smash. I'm going to throw them up in the double S. And then to finish off the show, we had Zelda Breath of the Wild 2, which I don't know, like, do I need to say anything about this? This is just like the dream. I love where they're going with this, like the story that they're actually unfolding here, the dead thing on the table, which we're assuming is Ganon, and like just having Zelda and Link both walking down into this dungeon. The look of it, like the look of the cloudy smoke coming up, it's giving me like these total Wind Waker vibes that I'm just loving. The noises, like the creepy, just almost, it sounds like voices talking backwards in the background, but like song at the same time. All of that just going into my ear holes and into my senses was just kind of setting me off into like, I am ready for this game. Majora's Mask's Breath of the Wild, here we go. Absolutely, doubtedly, this is going to go right at the very top of this list into the on fire rank, because this is just like, I don't know many people that wouldn't want to put this in the on fire rank. Wow, okay, that's over. That was one of my longest videos ever. A huge amount has gone into this. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure to hit the like button and hit the subscribe button. It'd be really, very much appreciated. And remember, for great Nintendo entertainment, you can count on me. For today's end screen, there has just been so much coming out of E3, but I wanted to quickly talk about this video, and sorry that it took so long to get it out. I mean, it makes sense because I have not stopped since E3 kind of happened. Started working on this video, got up, went to bed, working on this video. That's all I have done to try and get this out. It's just been a huge project to put something special like this together to kind of cover it. It's probably not worth it for the small amount of views it'll actually get, but I hope you guys did enjoy it for what it is. So thank you very much and good